we grew up on every governmental services that was there, Section 8. Despite all that, I made it to one of the top MBA programs in the country, actually in the world. Managed to work for companies like Amazon, like Apple, but that's not my roots and that's not where I come from. The quick story on me is I came to this country from the Dominican Republic, so I'm from the Caribbean. And at the age of 5, I met a complete stranger who told me that she was my mother, my biological mother. So you could imagine how much of a traumatizing experience that was. So my mother sent me to the Dominican Republic because she couldn't afford me. She couldn't afford to keep me in the U.S., so she stayed in the U.S., finding a home for me until she was able to pull me in. And that basically set the tone for the rest of my life because my family, we grew up on every governmental services that was there, Section 8. So for your audience who do not know what that is, that's basically government assisting housing. Instead of the rent being $1,500, the rent might be $200 per month, for example. WIC and food stamp, additional programs that allowed us to have food on the table and whatever we could get our hands on. And I share that experience to set the tone from the get-go that I came from a very humble beginning. And I didn't realize that in the Dominican Republic I was poor. And it was with that realization that I also realized that in the US I was also poor. And I lived in a neighborhood with a lot of distractions. There were gangs, there were beating, there was times that I was ganged up against. But despite all that, I put the distraction aside and I've been in honors programs since the 7th grade. Despite all that, I made it to one of the top MBA programs in the country, actually in the world. And I managed to work for companies like Amazon, like Apple, and create massive impact where I was helping those companies not generate millions, but if not even billions of dollars in terms of the planning process. So one of the things that I've also picked up in my life is that there's a lot of contrast that I've realized. In the Dominican Republic, it was more open doors. It was easy for me to come out. In New York City, I was in an apartment, a building, and it was harder to come out. And in Dominican Republic, is everybody spoke Spanish. Here in the U.S., when I first came, everybody spoke so many different languages, and obviously English. And one of the contrasts that I picked up, having been in the corporate, is that the corporate life is a good life, but that's not my roots, and that's not where I come from. So one of the big contrasts is I learned a lot of great, amazing skills from a business standpoint. There's a lot of everyday entrepreneurs out there who don't have these skills and they crave these skills so that they could actually make it, be able to put food on the table for some of them, be able to take a vacation somewhere, and so on. So I've taken the step to walk away from corporate so that I could serve and help out as many entrepreneurs as I can. So that's where I am right now after having decades of experience working in Silicon Valley, California.